Hello everyone, Matt here and welcome to a weekly market review. I'm going to try to do these more consistently. And what am I looking for? Well, I spoke in our private member section a while back. I'm looking for the markets to go higher. So far they have gone a lot higher, and I'm looking for initially over this blue line, but it's come pretty darn close. Now this is the SPX, which is the cash S&P 500. So far the high is around 58.80. I'm looking for 59.42 and then a little higher after that. There's two scenarios that I'm really watching right now. You see a 3 and a B. I use Elliott wave, and Elliott wave is an analysis tool, not necessarily a trading tool, but an analysis tool. So if this is a B, I'm looking for price to come down a little bit further before it makes a new high. If I'm looking for that 3, I'm looking for the market to come up a little more and then have a pullback and then make a new high. So either way, I'm looking for a new high. However, it depends on how it's going to do. Is it going to happen sooner or is it going to happen later? You know, we do have the presidential election on November 5th hanging over our heads. It's going to be very, very interesting. My speculation is that a Trump victory is going to extend the bull market. A Harris victory is going to be a shorter bull market. That's my expectation. Just because one candidate is obviously pro-crypto, the other candidate is the opposite. They're trying to take away crypto right now, which is not good. That's a story for another time, but that's my prognostication on the topic. So S&P 500, what am I looking for going into this week? This low right here is going to be very interesting, 57.64, and then this low down here at 56.77. Yeah, there's a decimal point. I always round down. If it's going to keep this as the high and start moving lower, especially breaking here, then I'm going to look more towards this yellow B, which we should end up going much further down. If it doesn't, then I think this 3 is still intact, and we have clear sailing to the upside. After this is finished, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a pullback, and then it's going to keep going higher. If this B is concerned, it should come a little lower and then pop back up. Either way, it's going to be very, very interesting. I do expect volatility to continue into November 5th. I have no idea what's going to come out. I expect there to be some more chaos coming out, but prior to that, just mainly because whenever you have a group that's in power and someone's trying to hurt that power, they're always going to do everything they can to take it. I'm a big football fan, and college football's in full force right now. Just look at like the #1 team in the nation and who all wants to take them out. So in college football, we've had 4 #1s already, which is kind of rare. It doesn't happen that often, but it's very interesting. Same thing with government, with bureaucrats, different stuff like that. It's all kind of the same game, just different opponents and different strategies. But anyway, this is what I'm looking for the S&P 500. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to talk about a couple of trades that we made last week in the private member area. I have to click on the screen first. And Target was one of them. Let me zoom in a little bit. And we got in, I got in right here at 149 and took profit above this blue line, just because if price was going to continue, it really shouldn't have come down here. So as it started chopping around, I got out right up here, which was a very, very nice trade for just I think it was a little less than 24 hours, which is phenomenal actually. A couple points for 24 hours. And of course, Tesla was very, very interesting. We played earnings and did very well. Now kind of looking for a little bit of a pullback, and that will be very, very interesting to see how that actually does roll out. After talking about this, I want to get into crypto a little bit because I do want to talk about Bitcoin and what I'm seeing going forward and the types of different moves that we can see. Now, we did take a Bitcoin trade. Got long actually right here and rolled that up, took some profit up here, still holding, and it's looking good. Obviously in the private member area. And let me zoom out, and we can talk about a couple things. So all this gobbledygook on here, probably should have deleted a couple things. But what am I seeing? I'm seeing three real scenarios. First scenario is, you could loosely count it as a 1 2 1 2 1 2, which would be very, very strong. However, it's kind of hard to count this as an impulse, in my opinion. I like it better as 1 2 A B C is in 3, and then you get a 4 and a 5. I think that makes the most sense. I do feel that crypto is going to go higher. Like I said before, I think a Trump victory has an extended bull market. I think a Harris victory has a contracted one. Just because Trump's pro-crypto, he knows how to build a good economy. Unfortunately, Democrats are counterproductive to economic growth, if I can say that. The Republicans have really become like the punk rock generation, the rebels, the ones that are actually wanting to build quality stuff and have a good economy. I don't want to get too much in politics, but it is what it is. Economics, politics, the markets, they're all correlated. Everything is correlated. So you kind of have to get into politics. Unfortunately, talking to other people about politics has become a touchy subject because some people get angry. I really enjoyed when I was younger, and you could actually debate people politically, talk about your views. Sometimes they're drastically different, sometimes they're similar, but after you're done talking, you shake hands and you remain friends. Maybe go out to dinner, go out surfing, go out do something. Miss those days, but I do feel they are going to come back. So anyway, I talked about this 1 2 3 a 4 and a 5. You still have this, you can count it as a 1 2 1 2 1 2 pattern, and if so, this low should be the low and this should start to take off. However, we have the election hanging over us on November 5th. As I'm recording this, it's October 27th. So it's hard to see a breakout prior to the election, even though the candidate that does show the extended bull market is ahead. You can't count your chickens before they hatch. That's the old analogy. So I kind of feel like, Bitcoin coming back into this green area makes sense. And that's why I like this 1 2 3 4 5 pattern. And after it comes up around that 72 74K, then we can see it, come back down and then take off to the upside. That's a possibility. The other possibility is this is a W wave, which means there's an X wave right up here, not necessarily at 75K. Maybe it's 70K, maybe it's 69. I don't know, but somewhere up here. So a WX and a Y would be down here around 42K. People don't like to talk about that. It is possible. It's possible. So you had that 1 2 3 4 5 pattern. You had that WX and a Y, and then you could call it a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and it's going to come back into this green zone and just take off massively to the upside. That's the one I believe in the least amount. The 1 2 3 4 and a 5, I like that. And then after it gets anywhere between 71 and 74K, possibly a little higher, then look for it to come back into this region, which would be a great buy opportunity, and then just take off. That's kind of what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. and it's going to be very, very interesting to see which one actually does play out. You know, I think it's good to go ahead and start levering up a little bit, but I say a little bit, just because you do have that November 5th overhang, and I don't think holding anything drastic is really the move here. I think it's better off just to kind of wait and see what plays out, and then kind of go from there. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what actually does play out. And there's going to be a lot of good trades, I think. I believe that tech is probably going to do well, and it's going to be very, very interesting. So what am I looking for? I'm going to keep my eyes on a couple things. If we go to the US dollar, you can see that between September 30th till, where did it make its high at? October 23rd, it has really been shooting up pretty quickly. And that's usually a sign of risk off. People are scared. Volatility has come in. If we look at the VIX is at 20. If we zoom out here, you can see over here in the beginning of August, the VIX was crazy, and now it's still high, which over 20 is optimal for trading, in my opinion. I'm a trader, that's what I do, and I love a VIX over 20. Once it gets under like 18, it's a little bit lethargic, especially down here, like close to 15. It's a little bit lethargic. So you definitely want some volatility. I do think that, seeing a VIX over 24, 25 before November 5th makes sense, which might bring the dollar up as well, which would bring the markets down a little bit, which coincides with my bull case. I think that makes a lot of sense. If we go out here to the weekly chart for the dollar, let's come down here, and you can see here I have an impulse up right here, but this is an impulse, this is an impulse, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to find support here and start moving up, but it is actually showing signs of strength, and that's something that you kind of have to pay attention to. But this really does not look like something that's going to get a lot of continuation. It's just choppy. It looks more like a bear market rally than an impulse in a bull market. So I don't think the dollar is going to start going crazy, but I do think it's just precautionary. There's more volatility to come type of a thing. So that's really what I'm looking for. Back on the S&P, right now it's just sideways, but I'm looking for it to hold ideally over that 57.60 mark, or 56.76, 56.77, whatever you want to call it. I'm looking for it to hold one of those two levels. If it starts breaking down, you can see more strength in the dollar and the VIX, and gold probably going up a little more too, and market pulling down here. So that's kind of my thoughts. It's going to be very, very interesting. If you enjoy these videos, let me know, and I can do them every week. I'm planning on doing them every either Friday, Sunday, or Monday whenever I get time. So one of those days. And if you are interested in stock or crypto trading, I do have a private member area that I show my trades, and we do a pretty good job. I also do Spider 0 days expiration trades. I usually do about 2 or 3 a day, depending on if there's volatility. And the volatility is really the big thing with that. So anyway, with that, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you around the markets. Take care.